Gonna watch I dyed my hair. So this is about a girl dyed her hair color and the principal spanked her. I got spanked because my hair. She dyed her hair, so that's not true.
Hey, I'm Nancy, and some time ago I was suspended for dyeing my hair. Can you imagine that?
Guys, I saw people dye her hair. And
How about dyeing my hair?
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you
and they were okay with it.
where I go to
After
school.
a while, I dyed my hair color
So
pink,
let
and
me
I
tell you about my hair.
was so different, so bright and colorful. I immediately got so much attention in school. In fact, too much attention.
And I really want to dye my hair purple, dark purple. And my sister wanted to dye her hair light purple. Seriously.
Luckily, I was called into a principal's office.
Maggie,
I was so shocked
wait,
by that
I
because
cannot
never
read
had
that
any
much. I'm
problem
in first grade. Don't.
So I came in,
going to tell
and
you
the
my
principal
grades.
was waiting for me with a
What
serious
kind
look
of
on his face.
school I go?
He started
So
to ask me questions
yeah.
about my hair, like why I did it and what I was trying to prove. I tried to explain that I just wanted to express myself, but he said it was unacceptable in school. I was confused because nobody had ever told me that we had a rule against dyeing your hair. In fact,
Yeah,
there was no rule
me.
like that. But I guess some
The
teachers
teacher-
who didn't like me started to complain.
The principal,
He said to me that I
teacher.
was suspended from school until my hair
I saw
returned to
that
normal
two
color.
kids dyed
That
their
was
hair. One
absolutely
dyed
insane.
hair
I
pink.
tried to reason with
Two,
him, trying
a
to
boy
explain
dyed
that it
his
would
green
go on
hair.
for at least a month, and I couldn't miss a month of school. But he didn't change his opinion. You would think it was cool not having school for an entire month or even more, but it just meant that I would need to work even harder after I would return. Or even worse, I would need to repeat a year of school. Once I got home, I called my parents and explained the situation. I was panicking, and they told me we would talk about it once they would return from work. They came and we talked about the situation. My parents are very rational people, so they said they would go and talk with the principal about the situation and we would find a solution. After they had a meeting with him, they told me that he wasn't very helpful and said he wouldn't accept me back until I had normal hair color. They asked him whether I could wear a hat during school, and he said absolutely not. It was unfair, and I didn't want to deal with that. It would be okay if the principal would say to me that I shouldn't do it again, but he didn't even give me a chance. My parents asked me what I wanted
apple's
to do,
pink,
and I
but
said that I disagreed with his decision and that I would keep going to school because I didn't want to lose my chance for normal education because of my hair color. My parents said they would support and help me in
I
any
used to
way
like
possible.
pink, but now I like pink. I like purple now.
So the next
Darkest
day, I
purple.
proudly went to school. I saw respect in other students' eyes. During that time, I was a real hero of our school. Teachers were clearly uncomfortable with the situation, but most of them decided to not tell the principal and quietly let me into the classroom, and then act like they didn't know what was happening. But one of them immediately went to the principal, and he was so angry. He called me into his office and told that I was walking on thin ice, and this kind of behavior would lead to my expulsion. I was super scared. My heart was beating so fast, and at first I was very silent, but then I answered, "It's unfair, and I don't deserve to be treated like that. There was no rule against dyeing my hair when I did that." He called my parents and informed that the school board would decide the matter of my expulsion during the month, and I would still be suspended during that time. At home, my parents told they were proud of me for standing up for myself, but it still didn't change the fact that I was in trouble. They asked me again if I was sure there was no rule against colored hair when I did that, and I was absolutely sure about it. Then they said that if the principal would remain as unhelpful as he was, they would try to find a lawyer to provide legal help for us. Honestly, by this time I didn't have any strength left to keep standing up for myself. It was too stressful, and I just...
I'm not gonna read, okay? I'm not good at reading. You know that, right?
studying like before. And I didn't know why the principal was acting like that. Wasn't he supposed to take care about students? To my surprise, several teachers called us and said that they were on our side, but the principal wouldn't let us get off the hook so easily. They offered their tutorship, which was quite surprising, but also made me want to stay in this school. But it didn't stop there. A lot of students started to text me about how unfair it was. And then several of them also dyed their hair in protest. Everyone was on my side. But I was still dangerously close to expulsion. Yes, I could have just dyed my hair into a different, normal-looking color, but it wouldn't be fair to me. Also, my parents talked with the lawyer, and she explained that if the rule about hair was added only after I dyed them, then the situation was clearly unfair, and we could press charges. My parents explained the situation to the principal, and besides, he couldn't just suspend everyone who supported me, so he was forced to let me get back to school. My parents asked me if I wanted to change schools, and I said no. I was sure that my school had good teachers, and I had so many new friends there who supported me when I was in a difficult situation. So I decided to stay in my school. The principal can hate me as much as he wants. It doesn't matter anymore. If he wanted to help me, he would have handled the situation differently. It's funny how I wanted to experience something new in my life, to change myself, and it turned out to be much more than my hair color. Everyone, don't give up when you have problems in your life, and believe in yourself. What kind of rules do you have in your school? Tell about them in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.
Okay guys, we are finished watching. I dye my hair pink. I got spinning dyeing my hair pink.
And until recently, I was the biggest bully in our school. Until something happened that forced me to change. So, I was this guy who bullied other people. I'm too ashamed to go into detail of how I did it. A lot of kids were scared of me. I regularly picked on people who I considered to be losers or weird, and I even had other guys following me and helping me with it. I guess you could say I was their leader or something. Why did I do it? I don't know. It was funny to me, I guess. It made me feel like I'm the king of the school, and if someone tried to stand up to me, well, they didn't have a chance. Even teachers knew about it, but they didn't really try to do something, because they knew that even if they called my mom, she wouldn't care that much. And, well, she had good reasons, I guess. My dad left us when I was a kid, and it was very hard for my mom to make a living for me and my brothers. I didn't really like being home, because it wasn't very pleasant being there, so I spent most of my time with my friends. Teachers mostly ignored me, because they thought I'm not very smart and don't really have a future. So did I, to be honest. We had this guy in our school. His name was Julian, and I hated him. He was this small guy with glasses, always had good grades, and teachers loved him. It was really annoying for me. So, well, he became my next victim. I was sitting next to him and made fun of him in many different ways, like calling him names and taking away his stuff and, well, bullying him regularly, like every day. And he never did anything. He just asked to stop, quite politely, too scared to even look at me. It was even more annoying to me because he didn't react as people usually do. So it continued, like, for months, to the point that he was usually sitting in the classroom during breaks, so I wouldn't have a chance to mess with him. And then one day, he wasn't at school. I thought that maybe he got sick, but I didn't care that much. He wasn't the only guy like that in our school. One day, my mom was very angry at me because of everything. My grades, my attitude. I didn't want to hear it. So I left the house when she fell asleep. I was hanging outside, angry at everyone who had normal lives. I knew that all I had to do is to say sorry to Mom to let me back in, but I didn't want to. It was getting quite cold outside, and I was very hungry, so I tried calling my friends. Maybe one of them would let me into their place for a night. Everyone said no, and nobody even said a good reason why. As I was wandering, I noticed Julian going from the store. He didn't see me, so I came up to him, and he was visibly scared of me. I guess because there was no people around, I didn't feel the need to mock him. So we were just talking about stuff, and I told him about my situation. I asked him if he could let me crash at his place for a night. He clearly didn't want me in his house, but he was just nice, you know? He said yes, and we went to his place. I was shocked to see that he was living even worse than I. His house was very old and in a bad condition. and it seemed like he was alone there. I asked where his parents, and he said that they are usually out during the night drinking. He almost didn't talk to me, but he fed me and made sure I was comfortable. I finally asked him why he didn't go to school. He looked at me with a surprised look and said, well, because of you. I really didn't expect that. This dude was living worse than me, yet he was like super smart and also kind of a good guy. And I couldn't even say sorry to him because, well, I wasn't used to saying sorry to anyone. I thanked him in the morning and told him that I wouldn't mess with him anymore because he was a good guy. I went home the next day. Soon, Julian was back at school too. My friends started to mess with him again, and I didn't say anything at first. But then I said to leave him alone. At that moment, they started to mock me as well, and this was the first time I felt the same as those people I bullied. Eventually, I stopped hanging out with those guys and stopped bullying people. Not like right away, it's just that every time I wanted to mock someone, I felt kinda guilty. I hoped that me and Julian would become friends, but he really didn't want to after all I've done to him, and I get it. Now I'm just gonna try to be better, I guess. Some time had passed since then, and my life is much better. I almost fixed my problems with Mom, and my grades are a bit better, and, well, now I try to defend those I bullied before. Please share this story with other people. Maybe someone will find themselves in those kids.
Hello, my name is Julia, and I want to tell you about our school bus driver. He was not what he seemed to be, and I want to tell you not what he seemed to be at first. At the beginning of the new school year, we had a new bus driver. Everybody noticed right away that he was kind of weird. Like, he never smiled and always looked at us with this creepy look on his face. Sometimes he was asking kids questions, like how their day was and other questions like that. Those seemed like innocent questions, but the way he looked at us creeped us out. And his messy hair and unshaved face made us think that there were more to those questions than just innocent curiosity. Hi, my name is Sarah, and I want to tell you a story that broke my heart. Now, as I'm getting over it, I feel the urge to share it with someone, as I guess a lot of you guys know somebody like my ex-boyfriend. His name is Jake. But now, I can't even be sure about that. It all happened during my first year in high school. Our family moved to another town and everything was really new to me. I didn't know anyone in my class. And on my first day, I was mostly watching what was going on as I was too shy to start a conversation. And among all the boys in my new class, it was Jake who drew my attention. I mean, it was hard not to notice him. He was so popular. He was not on any school team, and he didn't study a lot really. But there was something about him that made people want to be around. Like it often happens, you know. So of course, when Jake sat down beside me at lunch and started talking to me, I was interested. In a couple weeks, I had no doubt he liked me. Well, and I liked him too, as he was probably the most exciting person to talk to that I had ever known. Every day, Jake had a story to tell. He played drums in a band that was already quite successful and had several shows in our town. He wrote poetry. He was a talented BTS. Every other day,
I don't know what the.
At least that's what he was telling me, and telling his friends too. So in about a month and a half, we started dating. To be honest, what made me feel even better was the fact that half the girls in our class were secretly in love with Jake. That was the kind of secret that everybody knew. And of course they were madly jealous. I know I probably shouldn't have been so happy about it, but they were all quite mean to me, as I was the new girl in class. So I guess they were even. It all started better than I could imagine. Jake was the boy of my dreams. He was smart, funny, and I was charmed by everything he said. It turned out that the stories he told me
Read this.
I cannot read this because
It says. That's what it
was
says.
like this for several
It says
weeks.
BT.
At one of our dates,
It says Fickle Up official music video.
as his band was having a concert in a neighboring city. The first thing I said was, I'd love to come. I mean, I was constantly trying to hint at him that I really wanted to meet the guys in his band and see him play. But he had a new excuse every time, or pretended he didn't notice. The same thing happened this time. He just
ignored what I said and left the next day. Well, I didn't like that at all. For his excuses myself.
So guys,
Maybe he'd be too nervous if I was around.